Thank you, President. I just want to make a few remarks to join with my colleagues in remembering the Hon Kevin Andrews. I first met Kevin when I came here as a member of the House of Representatives in 2004, when he was a minister in the Howard government. And as my colleagues have said, even then he was somebody who was well known and to be looked up to and respected. What is a point of connection that I had with him, not only being a person of faith, but also the commitment to families. And when the then Attorney-General, Philip Ruddock, appointed me to chair the backbench committee overseeing the implementation of family relationship centres, I found I had a very common cause with Kevin around the value of seeking to empower and enable people to hang in there with marriage, as opposed to seeing the rate of marriage breakdown and family breakup. And we built a good relationship over those issues at that time. I then encountered Kevin after I had left this place, after the 2007 election, and came back as a senator when he became the Defence Minister, and I had a fair bit to do with him. And some of the achievements that he had during that time, I think, were things like the Naval Shipbuilding Plan for Australia, which was putting in place a framework to have an ongoing industry base to build ships in a sustainable manner, which lowered risk and lowered cost. And some of those sorts of achievements, I think, have been overshadowed by subsequent events, but he had a very strategic mind and sought to make those kind of long-term changes as opposed to just the quick political wins that so many people accuse politicians of. It's been mentioned a couple of times that he saw work in the parliament as a vocation and not a career, and I think it's a mark of the character of the man that when he was not reappointed in the defence portfolio and went to the backbench, rather than becoming bitter, which I have seen in far too many people in this place, he looked for new opportunities to serve. And as the then chair of the Parliament's Joint Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade, Kevin indicated that he wished to come and serve in that committee, and particularly to serve on the Human Rights Committee. And in that role, he took on, as members have mentioned here, the inquiry looking into autonomous sanctions known as the Magnitsky sanctions, but he also did a power of work looking at freedom of religion and belief. Kevin understood, as one of our former eminent judges has said, if you don't have freedom of belief and conscience and religion, you don't have freedom at all. And he was diligent to understand the state of freedom of religion and belief in this nation and the steps that we may need to take moving forward, and much of that overlapped with the work that Mr Ruddock and his expert panel did during that time. He also reached out to many of the diaspora communities in Australia who were suffering persecution, even though they were living here, from agencies from their countries of origin, and he did a power of work also supporting women and girls in the Pacific. And I just think it's a mark of the man that while many would have been bitter and decided to move on and do other things, he continued to look for the opportunities to serve not only the constituents of his seat of Menzies, but also to provide leadership in the capacities where he had the opportunity in this parliament. We have seriously lost a good man in Kevin. I was privileged to have him as a colleague and a friend and a mentor over a couple of decades, and my sincere condolences to Margie and its family, Vale, the Hon Kevin Andrews.